Let's be real, any Bubsy game could have made it on the list of my worst games I've ever played. Bubsy Jaguar, Bubsy 2 on Game Boy, even the Woolly's Strike Back for how much it costed and how little there actually was to the game. But hey, at least Woolly's Strike Back controlled alright, which is not what I can say about Bubsy 3D on the PS1. Cheesy came close and I even considered Rascal, but I'm sorry, you cannot beat this. This is the granddaddy of terrible games. The poster child of how not to do anything in a video game ever, not just platformers. And the tone is set magnificently from the very beginning. Take this FMV sequence out of context and you think it was from a horror game. And do you hear the noises emanating from it?
Bubsy Bobcat! How could this have happened? Settle down! Settle down!
It's annoying as sin, and that is the key word to take from this game. Annoying. It's probably the most annoying game ever made from a number of factors. Let's gather around the fire and list them, shall we? Looks. Well, firstly, this looks like an alpha build of a first-time 3D designer's art project. No textures, blinding colours, jagged and ugly shapes jutting out all over the place, no theming, and some of the worst character models you'll ever see. Sounds. Well, not only do you get music that sounds like a choir of kids that ate too many beans, but also had to cope with listening to Bubsy himself yelling, ranting and squealing about every single thing you can imagine in the most grating voice. When you hit an enemy, when you get hit by an enemy, when you collect an orb, when you jump. By the end you'll want to rupture your eardrum with a toothpick. And easily the most annoying aspect of Bubsy 3D above everything else is how it actually plays. Gameplay is as basic as you can imagine. Run from point A to point B without dying and fight a boss after a while, nothing special there. But when your eyes and ears are being illegally assaulted while you simply cannot control where you are moving, you're going to want to stop playing immediately. At least Cheesy saved tank controls for the overhead bits, but Bubsy 3D sticks with tank controls from the start to the end, and unlike Resident Evil or even Croc, the game is not built around them whatsoever. It wants you to constantly react to things quickly and jump over things in sequence like Crash Bandicoot, but absolutely falls flat on its face. And speaking of, you'll want to avoid jumping as much as possible since the camera swoops upwards and back down behind you at sickening speeds every single time you jump. So you're left a lot of the time relying on your ground movement, which is not only tank controlled, but I'd argue even heavier than a tank. You turn so slowly yet slip around and pick up forward speed like a stick of butter with a jet engine, and it makes something as simple as grabbing basic collectibles close to impossible. If it weren't for these arrows in the levels, I wouldn't even know where I was going since everything looks totally identical and so bloody bad.
Oh, look! An arrow! Aren't these game designers wonderful?
No! And you know what's even better? Most of the world consider this the worst game ever made, but I've still got another 7 days to go. It gets even worse than this. Help me. If you've been watching Badvent Calendar every day so far, then thank you so much. You have no idea how much that means to me. And I'd also like to spend the end of this video thanking every single one of my gorgeous, amazing Patreon supporters who have helped make this video series possible, including the top tier Patreon supporters for December: Omar Matu, Basil, Carl Hakkinen, Gamerman, I Have a Portal Gun, Exopaz, Matthew Hubble, Mills Kahai, Brandon, Kirsten B, Cyberpunk Symphony, Nicole Ganara, Nathan Young, Victor Patrick Bauer, Robert Alamsha, Jezebel, Daniel Leon, Braden Kenny, Jake Delahaye 2008, Mitchell Reed, Adi Thornton Smith, and Maximilian Ely. I apologise immensely if I pronounced that name wrong.